Hey everybody, I got two tips for you. Well, one's more tip, one's more maybe a secret, maybe not a secret. I don't know. News to me. So, one, if you're out killing cargo and there's unfriendlies around, your collecting ship ought to look something like this, all dead. And then you put one ship in the front, and that's the ship that actually has health, so it'll pick stuff up. I was using this ship for that, and which has no armor. And so I'd catch the guy coming out of a base. I didn't catch him out of the base. I catched him at a jump gate. And then he sent subs, and he was going to try to piss me off, whatever. But so he only got to kill one ship. So if you're going to pick up stuff, super fortresses are good, HHAs are good, HHBs are good, but have a series of them that just to pick up cargo, and have most of them dead. That way, nobody can really bother you. They kill off your front fleet. All right, well, stick another one on there and send it back out again. Okay, so that's one thing. But that's not really why I wanted to talk to you. What I really want to talk to you is about impulse launchers. So I learned something just now, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it. There's not a whole lot to show. I was watching a video. I was watching a base hit of juggernauts with impulse launchers. And you're like, what, Chris? That's stupid. Juggernauts? Nobody uses juggernauts. Well, the guy was using juggernauts. Okay? So what is that? It's 4 guns, 5 ships, 20 impulse launchers. Now here's the little secret. 20 impulse launchers was enough to create a shockwave with 2 volleys. Okay, most ships, most fleets are creating shockwaves with 2 volleys. Some of them can create it with 1 volley. Okay, that's not the secret. Everybody knows that. Call up Geico, 15 minutes, say 15% or more, whatever. Here's the thing. This was the beautiful part. He had a low enough number of impulse launchers that, it creates the shockwave and it damages the turrets around it, but doesn't kill them, right? Well, what happens when you come in with a fleet with a lot of impulse launchers? What happens is they go to shoot at the turret that has been damaged, and they kill it with the impulse launches without creating a shockwave. They kill it before the shockwave goes off. Aha! Here's the secret. On the Juggernaut, it had a low enough number of impulse launchers that it was actually able to create a shockwave before it killed the turret. And it's like, alright, well, who cares about that? I'll tell you who cares about that. Look at my base. And it's a little hard to reach with impulse launchers, but you get the idea. Other people's bases have crap all packed in together. Let's say you came in here and you impulse launched this and you killed it with a shockwave. Okay, it doesn't kill this one, so this is your next one. With this Juggernaut, what he would have done was create a shockwave here, which would have killed all of these, because all of these would have now been hit by 2 shockwaves. You get what I'm saying? So he was actually able to create way more shockwaves than a bigger fleet would have created. Something to think about. You don't have to have a crazy number of impulse launchers to be successful. He actually had a lower number of impulse launchers and was creating more shockwaves than what I usually see. I usually see Tritons and the NC, whatever the hell they're called, ships and MCXs, and those all have a way more guns. But they're not creating as many shockwaves as that Juggernaut did. Just something to think about. You maybe don't have to totally fill out your ships full of impulse launchers. Now, having said that, here's the caveat. Fleets, defend fleets that have evade of any kind, that's where more impulse launchers benefit you, because you will miss some. But if you're hitting bases that either don't have defend fleets or don't have defend fleets with evade, a lot of the traditional defend fleets, they just don't have any evade anyway, so you're pretty much going to hit them with whatever you shoot them with. So that might still do okay. And a Juggernaut's still bloody slow no matter what kind of engine you stick on it. So, but think about it. I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, "Oh, I like that. That's kind of cool." Because the other thing about impulse launchers, this will be a video just about impulse launchers, basically. So, I had feedback in a video about where can I go? Here. About this ship going in the Defend fleet. Okay, so I've been hit, and I was online at the time. Thank God, because the replay is just getting worse and worse. It's getting less and less accurate as they throw more and more variables into the game. So I was online, so I was like stoked. I was like, all right, let's see what this thing does. Yeah, no. No, that was not good. That didn't. Yeah, no. It stayed alive for a while because it has a pretty high evade, but no, it never created shockwave, and I never even saw really the little triangle get any bigger. So no. The only way something like this would work in a Defend fleet, now that I've seen it and I have hindsight now, is, and you can't really do it on this base. You kind of need the kind where it kind of closes here, and then they'd have to go this way. You'd have to have it so all of your ships stack on top of each other, so they're all firing at the same time, which is a little hard if it's impulse launcher to impulse launcher, because they can control all 5 fleets. You kind of can't, and you're kind of working within your little circly thingy, and to get all of your ships to be on the same arc and stop at the same point can be a little hard. Okay, so I'm still running with a very thin Defend fleet because there's too much crap that can kill my base, and I'm working on some stuff and for the base, but it's gonna be a little while. This is like a 15-16 day ship build. Started it before the raid. So anyway, impulse launchers are kind of cool. The job that you got to do to kill an impulse launcher fleet is to kill 1 or 2 of the ships. You got to get them to the point where they cannot produce shockwaves very easily. So one thing I did start doing was I did started using priority targeting on some of my javelins, so that if I'm pulling any of them down, let's go ahead and knock some of them off and see if we can get it harder for them to create a shockwave. Okay. What I have noticed, the most fleets killing impulse launchers are mortar fleets, assault mortars. So I've had about almost 8 days to think about this design, and I'm not totally happy with pieces of it, but they're not the expensive pieces, so I'll show it to you, but I'm probably still going to have to redo it. I'm not sold on the negotiator mortars. So my goal is the assault mortars. That's the reason I built this one. That's going to be part of the Defend fleet. I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna try this ship out and see how it does. Might need to tweak it some. I'm thinking we'll need to tweak it some, but we'll see. That with Red Arbiter, the one I really see the most is the ship that has the I don't have the ship, so I don't know the name of it. You can put modules on it, and you can put a decent number of guns on it. You can put a module on it and a decent number of guns on it. It starts with a V, Vindicator, something like that. Those seem to do pretty good when they have like a engine disruptor in there and then throw some mortars on you. That works pretty good because most people are not stopping their impulse launcher ships like they need to, because what you realize is that a negotiator mortar does not technically outrange an impulse launcher. Okay. However, if all ships still move forward a little bit. It's what people were complaining about with the Goliaths, because the Goliaths were, they were like, it's killing assault mortars, but assault mortars have a longer range. Yeah, by like 1 or 2, and your ship will move in like 4, even after it starts firing. You notice your ships fire, they're still moving. So if you technically outrange something, you have to down arrow key that sumbitch as soon as the first projectile comes out. And honestly, you can actually do it before the first projectile comes out, but it's a crapshoot of getting it right or not. You can really just watch your line, and right before your line is going to hit that ship, hit your down arrow key, and you might be still close enough to shoot at it. You need to target fire it, because you're down here, right, and you're coming in, you're targeting this guy, and as soon as like your arch, your circle is kind of like maybe like here or something, I'd probably smack that down arrow key and see if you can still hit it. You probably can, and then you're really on your max range, because your max range is actually slightly, from what I see, it feels like it's slightly on the other side of that white line. You know, your firing line, which when it's an attacking fleet, it's a white line. You know, your target can be like here, and the thing's still probably going to fire. So, because who knows exactly, like, let's say this turret right here, you know, where is the point that is allowed to start firing? Is it dead center, which I think it is, or is it like here? You know, and sometimes where's dead center on a ship? Well, I don't know. Different ships are different shapes and sizes, and I don't know. You could take like a DNX that's like freaking long, and where's the center on that one? I don't know. You take a little ship, and it's a little bit easier to try to figure out. But the idea with impulse launchers, if you use them and you're going against mortars, you got to stop early. If you let it stop when it wants to stop, you will get shot at by assault mortars. That's what I've seen. Assault mortars impulse launchers take the most damage with, was assault mortars. So we're gonna try some of those. The chain guns, the chain gun 3s, they do pretty good against the impulse launchers. These guys, mostly what I'm seeing is like chain gun 3s on Goliaths. Okay, because I think they actually will outrange an impulse launcher by just a hair, but it will outrange it. So something to think about. I hit a base with the brimstone, which I don't have. I should have got that. I didn't know that it slowed you down as you're going. So anyway, I'm trying to keep this more about the impulse launcher. Quick little note on the raid. I did pick up the something. It should be in here somewhere. Come on. There we go. Shoot. It's in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. I got the Hornet. And I picked up Maelstrom 5. I don't plan on using it, but I wanted to get to the 10 million mark, so I make sure I got all my reputation points, which just changed the new thingy, uranium or whatever the hell. And I picked up shoot. One of these. I don't remember which one. It's one of the 3s. It's either this one or this one. Probably this one. I don't remember. One of the 3s. It wasn't this one. I knew I had this one. It's either this one or this one. I picked that one up too. That's really all I did in the raid. Okay, so that's some news about impulse launchers. Maybe you knew it, maybe you didn't. Something to think about for pros and cons. It's a pretty cool gun. It's evade. It makes it fleet versus fleet. Impulse launchers kind of suck because you can have a really high evade fleet and never create a shockwave against the other guy. You never create a shockwave against the other guy because he has such high evade. I've seen that numbers at times too. So it's pretty cool for bases, but it's hit or miss on fleet versus fleet. So I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye.